Welcome back to the channel into week 6 of the NFL to another episode of Trey's Pick 6. It's where I pick my favorite 6 plays off of the slate and we break them down and analyze them and dive into those. But before we get into those, we got to go over what we took in week 5 and how that ended up going down. And we had a great week 5, guys. We did take Sam Darnold under 29.5 passing attempts. We took it at plus money and we did not cash on that one. But it was smooth sailing the rest of the way from there, man. Andre Yosevich of the Bengals over 23.5 receptions. He got that in one catch, man, a 39-yard reception. Probably the highlight of my day going to that game because it was just another L for my Bengals. We don't got to get into that, though, man. Curtis Samuel, we took him under 34.5 receiving yards. That was another cash. And we took the Broncos laying 3 points. They put it to the Raiders, man. I think they won by 16, so we do cash on that one as well. Took Jalen Hyatt under 22.5 receiving yards from the Giants, and we do cash on that as well. Then we took Patrick Mahomes over a half interception. He throws one to the lineman, man, and we do cash on that one as well. So a 5-1 night. Having a good little start here to the NFL season, man, sitting at 22-9 on the year. We are up over 12 units, so we're going to keep that energy rolling right here in the, week 6, man. Let's have another good week. Let's finish in the green once again. So we're going to dive into it, guys. We're going to jump over to Outlier for this first play here. And we're going to be looking at C.J. Stroud of the Texans. I'm looking at his passing and rushing yards over 247.5. We can get this on FanDuel right now at -114 or DraftKings at -115. Now, if we look at CJ in his last 5 games, he has hit this 3 out of the last 5, but he has crushed it in those last 2, right? 362, 358. So we like the way he is trending, man. Definitely trending in the right direction here. If we look at him in his last 10, not as hot, right? But we're, like I said, man, we're more or less worried about that last 5. We're starting the season right here, right? In those last 5 games. Looking at the last 10, that's getting into last year as well. So hitting at a 50% rate in those last 10, hitting at a 60% rate this season so far. So that's what we like to see there. Definitely more green than red. And I mean, he's coming in right on the hook here, right? So just, half a yard away from cashing 4 out of the 5 times. So definitely like that one as well. And if we come over here, we look at New England against the pass, man. They are sitting at just 25th for passing yards allowed, 13th for rushing yards allowed. But that passing number right there, man, we know what CJ is capable of. We know the weapons at his disposal. And it just, to me, feels like the Texans are starting to roll, right? And, kind of turning into that team that we all expected them to be at the beginning of the season. And CJ Stroud is a dog, man, going up against this New England pass defense that has struggled on the year. If we look at them overall, they are sitting at 25th for passing yards overall. So definitely like to see that. This Texans offense, first when it comes to passing yards, right? So we definitely, like I said, we know that CJ Stroud is a dog and he's got a ton of weapons at his disposal. So first in passing yards, going up a 25th ranked passing defense. The fact that he's crushed this number in the last 2 games, all signs point to me that this is a good pick here, especially at that price of -114, man. I like that a lot. So that's CJ Stroud, passing plus rushing yards over 247.5. Now, next up, we're going to be looking at Rashid Shaheed of the Saints. His receiving yards over 39.5. We can get this right now at DraftKings for -115. Now, one thing that we do got to keep in mind before we get into this pick, Spencer Rattler, rookie quarterback, will be making the start for the Saints with that Derek Carr injury. However, man, at 39.5 yards, I still like this one, despite who is behind center right now. And looking down here in his last 5 games, he's just kind of crushed this number in each week, right? Besides that week 3 loss to the Eagles there, where the Saints just were flat, man, 12 points total there. So 4 out of 5, he has hit this number, and he's hit it well over that 39.5 mark, right? 73, 96, 83, 86. And if we come down here, we can see that he is the top targeted receiver for this New Orleans Saint team, sitting at 26.2% of the target share. Man, I definitely like the fact that he is seeing the ball the most out of this New Orleans Saints wide receiver core, and just any player in general on that side of the ball. Another thing that's playing into our advantage here is the Tampa Bay pass defense, right? For receiving yards allowed, they're sitting at just 28th, and then specifically against wide receivers, that's not much better, man. They're sitting at 26th. So keep all these things in mind, man. If we look at this insight as well from Outlier, he has exceeded this 39.5 point or receiving yard mark in 5 of his last 6 games. He's actually averaging 67 receiving yards over those 6 games, hitting at an 83% rate. Like I said, man, crushing the number, right? Now, this one game here is last year, but like I said, man, crushing that number, right? You got to think, man, a rookie quarterback is going to go to the sure hands, right? He's going to look that way of that number one receiver. So I definitely like his chances of getting over that 39.5 yard mark for us. And next up, I'm looking at Derrick Henry of my hated Baltimore Ravens. I'm sorry, Raven fans. Yeah, definitely left a bitter taste in my mouth after last week. Congratulations, though. Y'all got a great squad over there, as usual. But Derrick Henry, man, looking at his rushing yards, over 84.5. And we can find this on BetMGM at minus 115 or Bet365 for the same price of minus 115. Now, if we look at him in his last 5 games, okay, yeah, we had a little slow start to the year there at 46, right? And then he lands right on the hook against the Raiders, right? 151, 199. And then 92 yards against my Bengals, man. We kind of held him in check there for a minute, right? Until overtime when it mattered the most, man. And Derrick Henry does what Derrick Henry does. And breaks off like a 30-plus yard run there. I'm finishing at 92 yards, man. So the game that like felt like we kept him in check, dude, he still damn near hits 100 yards rushing. So my man's a beast, dude. And this Baltimore Raven team is just dominating this run game right now. If we scroll over here and look at the Ravens, their offense, they are sitting at what? Yeah, just as I expected. First in rushing yards, averaging 211 rushing yards per game. Insanity, man. Insanity. And then if we look at the Commanders for their rushing defense, they're sitting at 22nd. So we like those numbers there a lot, right? And if we look up here, man, the rush, excuse me, stumbling over my words there. Washington's rushing yards defense, like I said, 22 overall against running backs. They've dropped down to 27th. And then you got King Henry coming to town. So not a good look there if you are Washington. He's exceeded this. They've got this down all the way at 69.5, which is going to show where this number opened up at, right? So saying that he's exceeded that in 9 of his last 10 games at home. But we're looking for him to hit over 84.5, right? But if we look down here, man, he has 122, 97, 101. This one would be under at that mark. 102, obviously that's under. 88, 153. This one would land right on the hook. 199. So in those 10 games, he has still hit over this mark at a 70% rate, 7 out of 10 times. So definitely like that one a lot there, guys. And if we scroll on down, we can see obviously, man, you got a two-headed just rushing tandem here, a monster between Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. But we can see that he's still getting a fair share of that rush share percentage, man, sitting at 55% to Lamar Jackson's 30. Justice Hill only seeing 11% of the rush share percentage there out of that three-headed monster there, really is what you could call it, man, because Justice Hill, he's got his moments as well. This rushing attack is just insane, guys. It really is. And then we're going up a Commander team that, like I said, sitting at 22nd overall for rushing yards allowed, 27th as far as my seat just dropped on me, y'all. That's something else. 27th as far as rushing yards allowed for running backs. So Derrick Henry, guys, his rushing yards, not over 69.5. Outliers tripping, man. We are all the way up to 84.5, man. 84.5. But I still like it, guys. I like it a lot. I could definitely see him hitting triple digits in this one once again. So we can get it on BetMGM minus 115, like I said, or Bet365 at minus 115. So that's where we're going to find the best price for this one here. Now, before we jump into the final 3 picks, guys, I do want to talk about this sweet deal that FanDuel has for you right now. Make sure you jump over there, guys, and join FanDuel, man. Make an account. Put a deposit in of $10 or more, and then place a $5 bet, and you can win $300 in bonus bets if that $5 bet cashes. So, just a little secret here. Shh. Don't let FanDuel let you know that I'm telling you this. Man, find yourself the most juice pick on there and throw that $5 on there. Something that you know is going to win. It don't matter the odds. I don't see that. I'm looking at the terms and conditions. I don't see anything about, a minus 500, a minus 600. Man, find something super juiced. Put that $5 on there and get yourself $300 in bonus bets to use here on week 6 in the NFL, man. Why not? What a great way to blow $300 in bonus bets. Or space that thing out, man. Do it as you please. But like I said, if you're not on FanDuel, man, take advantage of that opportunity right there. $300 worth of bonus bets in your pocket. All you got to do is cash a $5 bet. Like I said, man, find you something that's super juice, man. Take advantage, guys. Take advantage. FanDuel consistently has great odds as well, man. Great sports book. One of my favorites for sure. So, like I said, man, all you got to do, join, make an account, put a deposit of $10 in, place a $5 bet, win that $5 bet, $300 in bonus bets at your disposal. So just wanted to mention that real quick. Now let's get right back into these picks, guys. Up, I'm looking at Justin Herbert of the Chargers, his passing yards under 188.5. We can find this at Bet365 for -120. Now, if we look right on down here to this insight from Outlier, we can see that he has failed to exceed this number in 5 straight games. He's actually averaging just 134 passing yards in that time per game. So he is these are the 4 games this year so far, right? And he's come under that number in each of those games as well. Out a little close here with KC, but still only landed at 179, right? And that KC defense, man, surprisingly, weirdly to say, is not what this Denver defense has been this year. We look down over here, obviously right here to the right, we can see that Denver, for their passing yards allowed, they sit at 5th. So we like that a lot, guys, right? We look at this Charger offense versus this Bronco defense. Chargers are sitting at 31st when it comes to passing yards. Like I said, they're sitting at 5th, the Denver defense, right? We can go a little bit further here. Just look at the disparities in this offense versus this defense. 28th in scoring for Los Angeles, 2nd for defense for the Denver Broncos in terms of scoring. Another thing just playing into this favor, man. Denver sits at 7th for turnovers. They're 3rd in sacks. They're 2nd in QB hits. 4th for tackles for losses. And it's not like they're going to be, okay, so the Chargers are 9th in rushing yards, right? So maybe they can run the ball and try to open things up for Justin a little bit. Well, Denver is sitting at 10th as far as rush defense, right? So the thing is, too, is that Herbert, for as talented as he is, man, who's he got to throw to? We come down here and we look at his targets. His most targeted receiver is sitting at Ladd McConkey, right? Quentin Johnson sitting at 2. J.K. Dobbins is the 3rd most targeted receiver, the running back. Just not a lot of talent to spread the ball around here for a guy that's got an arm, man. So, kind of sad to see Justin Herbert kind of wasting away right now this year, especially, and really just throughout his career so far. It doesn't feel like the Chargers have really put the pieces around him to succeed. Dude's got an arm, like I said, man. It's a shame to see it go to waste, but we'll take it this week, man. We're going to fade him, so hopefully that arm does go to waste for one more week. We're going to take his passing yards under 188.5. Like I said, Bet365, we can find that at -120. And I'm also looking at Andy Dalton, his passing yards under 223.5. We can get this at Bet365 for the best price of -110. Also available on BetMGM, Caesars as well, right around the same price. But the best price is at Bet365 right now. If we look at the last 5 games, well, he did not play in these 2 here, right? In his first game that he played with Carolina this year, he came out guns a-blazing, threw for 319 yards. Then he played my Bengals, man, and their shaky secondary, and he comes under this mark. He plays the Bears, and that, pretty solid defense, and can only muster 136 passing yards en route to a 10-point outing from that Carolina offense. So we like those numbers there, right? We look at Atlanta for their passing yards allowed. They sit at 9th, man, sitting in the top 10. So we like that there as well. We can look down here at the offense versus the defense, man. And it's more of the same, man. Like I said, 9th for passing defense. The Panthers are only sitting at 26th when it comes to passing yards per game. And we're going to be looking at Zach Moss of the Bengals, his receiving yards over 14.5. Now, we can also get this, we can find this at -120 on DraftKings. We can take an alternate line and take a look at his over 15.5 as well and get that at -110 on Bet365. So, and really, guys, no matter which way you want to cut it, the numbers still kind of look the same. So we can look at this at that 15.5 mark. I might take it at 14.5 just because I like to play things a little bit safe, man. I like to ensure that I get that profit. But like I said, man, we can look at this at 15.5 because he's still hitting that in 4 of his last 5 games. He's averaging just under 25 receiving yards a game in his last 5 games. So hitting at an 80% rate to the over. And that's obviously, we're in week 6. This is all this year so far. So 4 out of the 5 games he has hit over that mark. And just came under, right, in that game against the Chiefs with only 13 receiving yards there. So just a few yards shy of cashing at a 100% hit rate this season. If we look down here, man, the Giants are sitting at 19th for receiving yards allowed. When it comes to running back specifically, they are sitting at 29th. So definitely like to see that. They are struggling with the running backs out of the backfield, and Burrow loves to dump those quick balls off, man, right? And that's, the name of the game with Joe Burrow. He's going to go through those progressions quickly, and if he doesn't find anything, he's going to dump it off to the running back or a tight end down on the flat. So definitely, we've seen Zach Moss take advantage of this so far with his time with the Bengals. Obviously, we've seen him clear this number pretty consistently, and then kind of crushing that number the last 3 weeks, right? We can take it just a step further, man. Look at the offensive numbers versus these defensive numbers. Now, overall, this pass defense isn't shabby, right? They're sitting at 15th. Not the best, but not the worst, right? But this Bengals passing offense has been the thing that's carried this team. 28th in rushing yards, 5th when it comes to passing yards, right? And they're scoring the lights out, man. The Bengals are not sitting at 1-4 for anything on the offensive side. It's been one of the most elite offenses in the league this year so far. Just can't stop anybody, right? So, we're not looking at the Bengals to win this game. We're not looking at the Bengals with the points. We're looking at Zach Moss to get 16 receiving yards. I like our odds there a lot, man. We can even go back a little bit further. Let's look at his last 10. Even before he was with Cincinnati, he's still hitting at a 60% rate, right? So Zach's got good hands out of the backfield. It's been proven over the years. So I definitely like this one. And then I like it a lot, like I said, for that one reason there. Well, multitudes of reasons, but this is my main specific reason right here that I really like this one, is that the Giants are struggling against running back, specifically in their receiving yards. And then, like I said, man, just knowing Burrow and how he plays the game, I know that he will look to Moss in the flats in there a few times throughout the game. He's going to get those targets. So I think we easily cash this over 15.5 right here, and then we can get this at -110. I like that a lot. So, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today. I hope you found it helpful and useful. And if you did, please do not forget to smash that like button down below and hit subscribe if you have not already. That way you don't miss out on any of the content that we are dropping here on a daily at the Guy Boston Sports Channel. So that's going to do it, guys. I hope we have a great week 6, man. I hope we cash out and keep it in the green for another week. And I will see you guys on the next video.